So what we'll do is we'll come in, we'll do our open, and then we'll get the Mike Kelly Toyota. And then what's going on here? I'm just, you know what? Yeah, we're good. We'll go for like 2-3 minutes. What do you got?
A complete mess.
You or me?
That was awesome. If that was on tape.
I actually was recording.
Oh, we got to use it.
We got it.
The Skenes Show. It's time to dive in. The Skenes Show. The sport, the drive, the win.
Welcome to the Stellar Show, Fayette County TV, Channel 77, Q Call Breeze Line with myself, Ken Philbon, the Duke, Stellar's Collectible Shop, and the Uniontown Mall owner, Victor Mahler, for episode 46. What's going on, Victor?
It's Molik, but that's okay.
Whatever.
I'm here to back check you as much as I can. We are taping this week at Thanksgiving. So
yes, sir.
A couple days from now, we want everybody to have a blessed and safe Thanksgiving. Eat as much as you can because the Fat Man is coming the day after here to the Uniontown Mall. Santa arrived somewhere around noon at the center court right outside my store.
He's going to be bringing a sleigh full of reindeer, but he'd be a lot cooler if he was bringing something from Toyota, specifically Mike Kelly Toyota of Uniontown. Mike Kelly Automotive isn't just about cars, it's about trust. With a wide range of vehicles and personalized service, we make your car buying experience easy and enjoyable. Come see why generations have chosen us for their automotive needs. So what's going on, man?
Well, the first thing I have a problem with right now is my shopping cart was stolen over the weekend. I left it outside the store. Somebody walked off with it. It's an archaic shopping cart that has Peachins on it. And Peachins only reminds me of the great Joel Chisler, who passed away way too soon here, Uniontown local legend Toilet Bowl Joel. So if you have my shopping cart, please return it. And also, I lost my Stellar Cup.
We'll get you a new one.
We got to work on that.
Yeah, well, I get the link up for that and get some Stellar Show apparel while you're at it. But so is there like a Bubbles in the area?
A Bubbles?
From Trailer Park Boys? Is there a guy that hoards shopping carts? Yeah, Rick got it.
We got to bring back the Peachin shopping cart.
You sure it didn't just blow away? I mean, we've had some weather. I don't want to just say it may have ended up in parts unknown.
Parts on the Berserker made an appearance.
Well, you know what? And how dare you? And I got to give.
How dare I?
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. I got to give the superfan credit because he was a little upset on this too. Because I had to phone it in last week, as you saw. But you talked about Parts Unknown, and you left out the greatest and the best that the Parts Unknown had to offer, and that is the Ultimate Warrior
BS. The Berserker would have took the Warrior down, please, and the two guys from Brownsville.
The Ultimate Warrior. Well, the Warrior would have. He's taking dumps tougher than them. But and now the Ultimate Warrior beat Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 6, clean. What'd the Berserker do? He ripped off the good God, the great Bruiser Brody.
Rest in peace to the Ultimate Warrior, but he ain't sending me no packages. The Berserker sent me packages.
Did he really?
Yes, that's where there were packages full of dead meat. Not the one from Clerks.
Okay.
The real Berserker.
And by the way, another reason I'm a fan of the Ultimate Warrior to bring a conversation before we got on here is I'm one of the few people that understood everything he had to say.
The Berserker?
No, the Ultimate Warrior.
What did he have to say?
Rick got it. Go watch some promos. But speaking of promos and interviews and whatnot, what do you got going on with Bryce?
Well, right now with the build-up to the holidays, Fanatics has gotten completely crazy with this Paul Skenes 101
building up your
card.
Interview with Bryce here.
Which is what I'm getting to. Right. With the Paul Skenes fiasco that's going on, you guys are going to get a first-hand account. I got to do a special interview with Bryce about the depth of this card. So we're going to pitch that to Bryce and I right now. Maybe you should have pitched it.
Yeah, whatever. It's good. Yeah. We'll be back after the Bryce interview.
You were crap before. You're on fire. That was like your best segment ever.
The red light's on.
Scramble the brains before the red light.
The brains were warming up.
My
the brains were warming up.
That was really good. Look who's here, folks. Everybody's hero from the Pack Attacks. Local legend Bryce Burgeon is here today. What we're here to talk about, Bryce, is tell us about this Paul Skenes card.
Well, it's the hottest card on the planet. It's the one-of-one rookie patch auto of Paul Skenes that's coming out of the Topps Chrome Update Baseball product, which is brand new.
Who's on the cover of the box?
Paul Skenes.
It is.
Oh, no.
When
I
you
take
buy
that
the
back.
box.
It's Jackson Holiday's on the cover of the box.
So, guys, when you're looking at these boxes, do not buy the ones with Ellie De La Cruz on the front. And I
Right.
think there's another one.
It's Jackson Holiday of the Baltimore Orioles.
That's
He's
an
on the
important part,
boxes.
especially moms. When you're getting the kids the cards, make sure it's a Baltimore Oriole. So tell everybody officially what you know you win. Because there's a lot, some people are saying there's Ferraris, swimming pools, dates with superstars. What are you getting?
So the Pittsburgh Pirates, that's correct. The Pittsburgh Pirates have put out a bounty for this one-of-one Paul Skenes card. And they are offering a list of items, including 30 years of season tickets right behind home plate, a meet and greet with Paul Skenes, a meet and greet with Livy Dunn. That was a new one just added by Livy Dunn, that she would do a meet and greet, and you can sit in her box for a Pirate game. In addition, there's autographed memorabilia from various Pirates, including Paul Skenes. There's a glove, a bat. The Pirates are basically offering what is going to come out to be about $300,000 or $400,000 worth of prizes if you find this card and give it to the Pittsburgh Pirates. And the funny part to that is, Victor, that's more money than they pay half the roster.
Amen to that.
So I would just like to say, while it's a lottery ticket and it's going to be a lot of fun, because
speak freely
the card
because you're on the
has
Stellar
not
Show.
gotten hit yet. So it is still out there somewhere in a sealed pack or a sealed box. This one-on-one Paul Skenes card is still somewhere. But whoever hits it will have a big decision on their hands, because not only are the Pittsburgh Pirates looking for this card, but Ken Golden from Golden Auctions is also looking for this card. And Ken Golden has stated that this card would sell for over $1 million in one of his auctions. Not to mention there are other area stores who have put out bounties for this card. So whoever finds the card's got a big decision to make.
So the thing about this card is there's conspiracy theories all over the world with a lot of different things. My part in the conspiracy theory is it's not going to be pulled till after Christmas.
Interesting.
You had a way of looking at that I liked as well earlier when we were discussing things about this area.
I feel that Fanatics, who basically makes everything for most of the professional sports, I think that they have some kind of deal with the Pirates in this whole bounty thing for this amazing card. And I feel that at some point that card will get pulled and it will be in the Pittsburgh area. I don't think it's going to get pulled in Texas or California or Missouri. I think it's going to get pulled in Pittsburgh.
Right now, with what we're saying here, there is going to be a line every day trying to find this card, because that is a suspicion I didn't have, but I had the one after Christmas. If it's pulled here in Pittsburgh, it will
create an absolute chaotic scene.
Very chaotic.
And it's awesome that one baseball card can create this kind of a buzz.
Well, the ones that we are holding in our hands right now are some of the Skenes that you've been kind enough to bring to Stellar Collectibles up here at the Uniontown Mall. Stop in and see me. I'm right next to
These
Santa
are the first
Claus.
Bowmans right here for Paul Skenes. You got the papers and the chromes. There's some PSA 10s. How about Paul Skenes? That's the All-Star jersey, a piece of his All-Star jersey right there. There's the Paul Skenes, a regular piece of jersey card right there. We got the mini out of Allen and Ginter. You won't find those anywhere else.
Wow.
There's the mini. And, of course, another PSA 10. So while everyone is hunting, Victor, for the big Paul Skenes 101, Pittsburgh Stellar Collectibles has all the Paul Skenes cards you could want for Christmas, birthdays, holidays of any kind. Here they are.
Thanks
Your
to this
one-stop
guy
shop right here. He's got a bunch in stock. Get them while they're here, because they will not last,
They're
Victor.
not gonna last.
He's the hottest guy on the planet right now.
Exactly.
They are going to sell fast.
Rookie of the Year just announced a couple days ago, so folks, stop up and get them. And again, we're having the card show here at the Uniontown Mall on December 27th and 28th. That's Friday and Saturday. And this guy is going to be doing a pack attack.
Thank you very much, Victor.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Bryce.
it, buddy.
Thanks, brother.
Welcome back to the Stellar Show, Fayette County TV, with myself, Ken Philibom, the Duke, and Stellar's Collectible Shop in the Uniontown Mall, owner Victor Malik. And I just waved to whoever that is.
That's Mary Ann from Aeropostale.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? They're in the mall, too. Go check them out, as well as Victor's shop and some of these other stores.
Yeah, Black Friday coming up
Yes,
real
sir.
soon.
And what is it? Small Business Saturday, Cyber Monday, Blue Tuesday. They left out Wednesday.
Day of
Whatever.
rest.
There you go.
That's the day to watch the Stellar Show on Fayette TV and
Fayette
Q-Call.
County TV. Yeah, whatever.
Continue.
Thank you. Let's
Open up a pack of cards.
Yes, sir, because we missed out last week. I believe this is 89 Pro set, so we're looking for what? Barry Sanders, Deion Sanders, Tim Worley.
Probably not Troy Aikman.
I don't remember if he's in here or not.
It might be the college card.
You see who's on the back?
Yes, major day. We'll hold that to the end.
We'll do like those goofs have to do on YouTube, how they have to, like, they're shaking. And you know what? Those guys, by the way, stop feeding into those idiots. All right, Ken O'Brien. Boy, he was a bust. You know what? He's labeled a bust, but he actually had an okay career.
He's one of the ones in the greatest quarterback draft of all time, 1984.
That's it. Like if he 83 draft.
Correct.
Yeah, but that's all right. But if he's in like any other draft, he's not labeled a bust. Urban
He was
Fryer.
drafted ahead of Dan Marino.
Yeah,
think about that
boy,
one.
The Jets' reaction to that. Urban Fryer, former 84 draft first overall pick, right?
Not a Hall of Famer, correct?
Yeah, I don't think he's on that border.
I think he was.
Yeah, first pick of the 84 draft.
Aikman.
Wow, Aikman is in there. That's not a little off-centered.
Which is something that I think we're going to do maybe next episode or
Ended up with the Steelers at one
episode
point.
after that is trying to tell you guys how and what parallels are with these cards.
Yeah.
And that's a whole episode itself, but that's something that's in the hopper. Pay attention for it.
Until Gronk came along, when people would ask me greatest tight end of all time, Jay Novacek was always in that conversation.
Okay, Eric Green. Potentially, Eric Green.
Novacek was like he was
In this time frame, Novacek was wonderful, and he was part of the reason Aikman was so good for so long.
Him and Moose were
He was
were
the
unsung
original
heroes.
pacifier for a quarterback.
They were like what Rocky Blyer was for the Steelers.
Yeah.
So we got Mike Haynes here, quarterback, and then then we got Jason Buck, and then here you go. I'm gonna act like those goofs on YouTube.
Ooh, get a top loader ready.
You know what? That's actually really good centering on that too.
The Juice, O.J. Simpson.
Yeah. So
Heck of a pack right there.
right.
I have a box of these here at the store, and I'm selling them off. And one of the packs that was picked over the weekend was Barry Sanders came out of it. So
And you know what? If you get those
are
at
two decent cards.
You get the Deion or the Aikman at a 10. You got, and maybe this OJ. You got some good stuff.
Yeah.
But we got to get back in the mail day. You're gonna like this. So I actually busted it open because I was like a kid on Christmas. So Derek Sage, who sits next to me up in WJU row 53.
We are.
Yes, sir. Penn State. He was at a auction last week. The week before, it was to raise money for autism. While I was at a function for the Mount Pleasant Junior Football, raising money for them, we're texting back and forth, and I got the winning bid on something. This is good. So, and Derek really took care of me. We talked about it. Didn't want to go to that Penn State whiteout, but Derek he came through and grabbed me the program from that. So that's kind of like we were just making fun of those goofs that have to do this crap. So we got the program. We'll have some fun with that maybe after. But check this out.
It's amazing that schools today still make programs.
They went back to it.
This is something that is a lost art. Some of the old programs that I have in the store I think are worth more than the cards at times.
Threw in a nice Drew Aller for the set single game career high passing mark in the win earlier this year. That's one of those tops now. Or Bowman now, I apologize. Bowman you now. Go ahead.
Which is something that,
good.
Better look at it, Rick. The Tops Now cards, putting Drew Aller ahead of Ty Warren for Heisman Trophy votes is
That's
just
insane.
befuddling to me.
Yeah,
but I read on CBS that he is on the board at plus 55,000. Warren is not on the board at all to bet on.
That's because you got these journalists that have votes that aren't watching.
Yeah.
Anybody that's watching knows that Warren's
Ty
carrying
Warren
that
should be,
offense.
100%.
Not to take away from Drew, but now here's what
yes. Who signed him?
their game worn.
Jahan Dotson?
Oh, come on. Joey Porter Jr.
That's his signature. Tell me that doesn't look like Jahan Dotson.
No, because Dotson didn't wear number 9.
I thought he did. Okay, you got me on this one. 19.
Yeah, check this out. 29. Yeah, these are game worn. He autographed both of them. Yeah, like I said, and it went to a good cause, raising money for autism. So
good job.
Helped out a good cause, and I got something really awesome for the Ken Cave.
Now, are you going to put those in the frame?
Actually, it's funny you brought that up. See, I'm debating. I picked this up. I know you like Hobby Lobby, and they do good work. But if you're going to do it yourself, sometimes you can find really good deals at Michael's. Like this was
You got a good deal at Michael's.
Oh yeah.
You're the only one. But continue on.
You're afraid to drive outside of like 1 mile of your house. That's the only reason you won't go to Michael's.
Hobby Lobby is 1.1 miles outside of my house. Michael's is like 1.5. It's right down the road.
I'm not knocking Hobby Lobby for the record. I like both.
I promote Hobby Lobby. I'm a Hobby Lobby fan.
Look, they do great work, but like when it comes to buying this stuff and doing it yourself, I've done pretty good with Michael's. To each your own. They're both good. But I'll probably, I don't know if I'm going to split it up or if I'm going to put both in one, but at least one of them is going to get framed and put into the
That shadow box is kind of nice.
Yes, sir.
I do like that a lot.
So we're talking Penn State. What were your thoughts Saturday?
Minnesota plays them tough. If you watched the episode last week, Penn State and Minnesota have had battles over the years. And right now, college football is under a different system.
Oof.
You have to look at it not as, they have to win by 50, by 60. It doesn't matter. You need to just move on. And to have the guts to call the fake punt, to have the guts to call a fake punt.
You know what? That's the Franklin I've been looking for.
Yes, that's what college football. You have to play that style of football nowadays.
I was like, where's this guy been?
Yes, that's that's a good sign. This weekend, I look for Penn State to absolutely wallop Maryland. When we get to the
Saturday, you want to come?
Potential. Very much potential. There's a lot going on here at the mall and things like that, but if there's a way to sneak away, that's worth it to get up there.
I got Derek's seats. He ain't coming. I already got him.
Okay.
So we'll talk. So what do we got going on here? You just want to jump in?
You want to do picks?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. This is for the weekend, November 28th through the 2nd. First game, you have to give them credit. They've made it through the regular season undefeated. They've got a Washington. They're going to Washington, who is 6-5. Number 1, Oregon at 11-0 is given 19.5 to Washington, and the over/under is 50.5.
See, this is interesting. Like we've had some fun talking about resting starters and whatnot, which I can't rest my fantasy starters for another week, but I'm still looking to have a bye.
So ridiculous.
Well, hey,
Continue
you know
on
what?
with that.
It's a good problem to have. But so if you're Oregon, this kind of is a meaningless game.
Yes.
Like you literally might, you might see them rest starters, and Washington could try to be making a statement. I think I'm taking Oregon to win, and I'm taking them to cover. But if this was an upset, I would not be shocked because Oregon mailed it in. Because this game is meaningless. Because if they beat Ohio State, they get a bye. Mm-hmm. It's all about Ohio State for Oregon. Like Washington's irrelevant to them. So what's your thoughts?
This game, Oregon's going to jump out 21-3, something around there, and then just pull off the gas. Washington's not going to score against their defense. The pick in this game is really under because they're going to stop playing and they're going to rest everybody. The 19.5 is difficult because I just don't see Washington scoring enough in the game.
Like I said, yeah, I mean, I'm taking Oregon in the over, but I could see. I would not be shocked if you heard Washington or Oregon sat a bunch of guys in Washington's.
Because we're going into a different style of football.
You are. We really are.
Mm-hmm. So number 3, Texas is next up on the board. This is basically a big rivalry week. So Texas is playing Texas A&M. Texas is on the road. They're giving 5 to Texas A&M. That's in at A&M.
Ooh.
So it's a 48.5 over. I look for this game to be extremely close.
I'll go the upset. I'm taking the Aggies, and I'll take the over.
Taking the Aggies outright, or you get the 5? Do you think they win outright?
Well,
would you put this on a money line?
I'm taking the 5, but I think the Aggies. I think the Aggies. They're a good team, and they're close. And this is a situation too where Texas, their ticket is punched for the SEC championship game. Mm-hmm. So you might see them rest some guys and help out the Aggies. And if the Aggies win this, they're back in playoff talks. And look, if you're college football, you want the Aggies in the playoffs because, like Penn State, their fans pay money and they travel. Yeah, so I'll take the Aggies with the upset, and I like the over. I'm going with Texas minus the 5.5, and like I said, I think this is a close one. I think this comes down to I'm going under in this game. Well, being that game's this is a tough one. Not in Texas. It's in College Station. The College Station. Thank you. No problem. So all right. So now moving on. Number 4, Penn State given 24.5 against Maryland, 50.5. I'm going Penn State in the under.
Penn State in the under. I think this is a statement game for Franklin where they just whoop them. This is Penn State. I'll forgive the 24.5. This thing's going to go over. Now the biggest game in college football, the one we talked about a little bit earlier, the hated Ohio State Buckeyes, number 2 in the country, giving 21 to Michigan in the rivalry game that everybody in the nation thinks is the most important game.
It's not the most important game. I think the A&M in Texas is more important than this one.
Well, the histrionics.
No, the history's there, absolutely.
Before you pick this,
sir.
remember, this is the weekend of old-fashioned rivalries. We didn't put them on the board, but Notre Dame is playing USC this weekend, and Alabama does play Auburn. So you have the Iron Bowl and the Notre Dame-USC game as well. We just don't care enough about them. So now go with the Ohio State-Michigan.
Oh, you first.
As much as I hate them, Ohio State trounces them and goes over. So I'm giving up the 21 and going over on the 43.5.
I'll agree with both of those. Yeah.
Yeah, so that concludes the college football section.
Sir.
Let's go on to the pros. First game I have up is the 3-8 Cleveland Browns are getting 5 points from the Denver Broncos out in Mile High. 7-5 Broncos against the 3-8 Browns.
Mile High City. I think they probably, some corporate sponsors probably got naming rights on that stadium. I don't care enough
I don't
to
pay
look into
attention
it.
to that. It's still the Redskins. It's still.
Three-River Stadium to you, right?
Exactly.
All right.
Still scat to all you guys in Hopwood, the gas station. That's five people
I
will
ain't
get
touching
that
any
joke.
of that scat stuff. So let's see here. Let's see. You know what? I like what Jameis Winston's doing with the Browns. I'll take the Browns.
It took this long into the show to get your Jameis Winston mention.
He's playing good.
Yeah, he played a wonderful game. And to all the NFL teams that want domes, just go back. I know the Steelers lost, but watching football in the snow is just an absolute blast.
Says the guy.
Stop putting domes on the stadiums.
Says the guy that doesn't go to the games.
Well, I like watching them on TV that way.
Yeah, you like watching it. Yeah, you know what? As someone
particularly want to be
that
out
actually goes to the games, you know what? It'd be nice
Pick
to.
the game.
Let me finish my thought. It'd be nice to not have frostbite. Like I said, I'm going with the Browns. I'll take the 5.5, and I like the over. Bo Nix he's slinging the ball good too. So
taking the Broncos because the Browns played their Super Bowl last Thursday night against the Steelers, and this game goes under. I'm not a fan of Jameis Winston as far as scoring that many points against a really stout Denver defense. The only defense that I have in fantasy football, the only part of my team that scores.
Yeah.
Moving on, the Eagles at 9-2 against the 8-4 Ravens. This game is in Baltimore. The Eagles are getting 3 from the Ravens, and the over is 50.5.
over hits. And Saquon's going to carry the Eagles to another. He's on a roll.
This might be the one I agree with you the most on. And then we go out to Riverfront Stadium.
I'm sure.
Riverfront Stadium in
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati. They'll go all the way back to Paul Brown.
Whoa, you all right, bud? Oh, you're being a little deep.
Duke wants us to
he likes
use
his ears.
the correct
He
one.
loves
I don't
his
even
ears.
know what Cincinnati Stadium is
I
called.
don't care either. I'll take the Steelers. They'll bounce back. And
Steelers are getting 3 on the road in Cincinnati.
And the under.
And 47 is the under. I'm going with the Steelers with the 3 and under 47 as well. At this point, I want to do something real quick. It's a little more than the halfway point of the season in the NFL. And I'm going to ask you, what is your biggest surprise team out of the Vikings being 9.5, Washington being 7-5, Pittsburgh 8-3, or the Broncos 7-5?
Broncos 7-5.
That's the biggest surprise to you?
Yeah, because I was not impressed with Bo Nix in college. I watched him lose that whiteout starting for Auburn.
Yeah, I remember that
so,
one. You were there for that one, of course, and there was no snow.
Yeah, so.
How can you go against the Vikings right now with Sam Darnold at 9-2? That's just amazing that team is that way.
Because the talent around him. And for the record, Darnold's not a bad quarterback. I was hoping the Steelers would have landed him when he was bouncing around. I'm grateful for the 2 they have now. But no, for me, it's the Broncos at 7-5 because it's not just that they're 7-5, but they almost beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, these are 4 teams that were not supposed to even be in playoff contention. Vikings, Redskins, Steelers, and Broncos. The money line at the beginning of the season was 8 for over and under for wins for the season. And the Steelers have already eclipsed that. That's a hat tip to Mike Tomlin.
They're always going to get to 9.
Yeah, well,
or 8,
you've got, 7 games left on the schedule, and you've already hit the over. Now, the disappointing team, the Dolphins 5-6, the Cowboys 4-7, Falcons 6-5, Colts 5-7, or the Buccaneers at 5-6.
Well, let's see. Tua was hurt, so that affected the. And with the Cowboys, Prescott's hurt. So, as far as disappointing, I would say the Bengals are probably the biggest disappointment.
I forgot all about them.
Yeah, if I had to pick one.
Yeah.
But we're running long, man. We'll be back after this.
My card! The Vision's card! It's a Christmas miracle! Look. There is still good in the world. Merry Christmas in advance to everybody. Thanks again. Thank you, Shirley.
You're welcome.
Have a holly jolly Christmas. It's the best time of the year.
Welcome back to the final segment of the Stellar Show here on Fayette County TV channel 77 Q Call Breeze Line with myself, Ken Philibum, the legendary Duke, and Stellar Collectible Shop and Uniontown Mall owner Victor Mullick. Hey, before I forget, I mentioned the Duke here. He's sporting his Stellar jacket that his Aunt Carrie got for him while his Aunt
Carrie gave you that. You
yeah.
it.
But hey, you know what? It's that time of year. There's a lot of good animals at whether it's Fayette Friends of Animals or the shelter up in Somerset or wherever you're watching us. If you got room in your home, go get a dog or a cat. Give them a good home, especially for the holidays. But while we're in the holiday spirit here, Hillbillies Got Talent up in Hillbillies in Donegal. It's every Thursday at 6:30. Qualifying rounds are still going on. Time to get in on that. And Victor's just eager to tell you what he's got going on over here.
Before I start talking about what's going to happen in December on the 27th and the 28th at the Uniontown Mall, they have the Christmas tree raffle that's just 2 stores down from me. All the things go to the Relay for Life is where they go.
Good
so
cause.
they have probably over 100 Christmas trees. Stop up, buy a ticket, donate, because there's a ton of charities that are inside of there, and it is absolutely gorgeous. So I wanted to mention that first. Next thing I want to mention, Pack Attack tickets. They're here in the store. They're available to be purchased all the way up until December 24th. We're doing an early bird special. It's at $55 on Christmas Eve. It has to go to the full price. Come up and get the Pack Attack tickets. The card show is here at the mall the 27th and the 28th as well.
All right. So,
and for all of you guys that are out there wondering, with the weather being bad, word is from the North Pole that Rudolph has been called up to bring Santa Claus here on Friday. So with the weather pattern that's coming through, kids, don't fear. Santa will be here on Friday.
reach out to Mike Kelly and get a Toyota if Rudolph gets jammed up.
4-wheel drives are important.
Especially around here. So we were talking fantasy football off air as we go to wrap this up. What's your season like?
I am absolutely horrible right now, and I got crushed again this week. I had the false positive of all time. I had the Chubb on Thursday night, did wonderful for me. I had a big lead, and then all of a sudden around 4 o'clock, a 70-point lead turned into a 12-point loss.
Well, it's funny you say that. I was favored to win both of my games by 20. I barely pulled one out. So you'll like this situation. I go into Monday night. I have Flowers from Baltimore on one team, and I have Derrick Henry on the other. Both games are close, and I'm playing. I have Flowers. I'm playing against Henry. Then I have Henry, and I'm playing against Flowers. And both games are within like 6 points.
If you go back 13 weeks, that is the exact thing that Ken talked about before the season started. Is you're rooting against yourself,
and
there's no way to win.
Yeah, well, and surprisingly, I did. I'm still second place in the one league, and I'm third in the other. Which, knock on wood, I should wrap up my bye this week in the one, and God willing, I should make the playoffs in both leagues, and not bad. But Saquon Barkley, I love it. I'm sitting there. I had a late first round pick, and I'm like, every time I've drafted Saquon Barkley, like he got injured, and I didn't want to do that to the man. But but both streaks ended this year. He's MVP. I don't care what anyone says. I know
if he isn't, he's number 2.
Who would you put ahead of him?
Probably Lamar.
Lamar's having a good year, but Saquon.
The Polish intelligence group has been taken over by other ownerships, but I would like to at least say right now that if I had anything to do with my next year's draft, the last person I'm drafting is Patrick Mahomes. That is the most disappointing fantasy football quarterback you can have. With all the name recognition and all of that, he is just awful as a fantasy quarterback.
With the exception of about 4 or 5 years, you could say the same for Ben and Brady. Like, yeah, you want them as your starting quarterback, but with the exception of like a handful of years for both of those guys, they were not good fantasy quarterbacks.
When the Patriots signed Moss, Welker, and Dante Stallworth in the offseason back in 2006,
They traded for Moss, yeah.
but brought those guys in.
Yeah.
Brady, I remember at the time, was the 84th player overall to be drafted.
Oh, but I believe
That's
that.
how bad Brady was at fantasy football
So,
back then.
hold on,
before
so-
those guys. And then he had a run of about 8 or 9 years that were pretty good.
I want to buy in on this pig. What does $12? How much ownership can I get for that?
$12, full 100%. That's what it's worth. $12 will get you there. The team's yours.
We'll talk. Rise Wrestling is next. We'll see you next week.
The Skenes Show.